Okay, so in this video, we're going to finish up the 7.3b notes here by going over the multiplication properties of exponents, specifically the power of a product, okay? Product means we've got two things that are multiplied together, and we're raising that product to a power, okay? So the rules are a little bit different here than the previous multiplication properties we've used, okay? As in the other couple videos on multiplication properties, make sure you review the simplifying exponential expressions rules, okay? And everything that we've learned up to this point about exponents, that still applies here, and we might have to use those in the simplifying process for these three problems we're going to go over, okay? But let's state what the power of a product property is. A lot of P words there. A product raised to a power is equal to the product of each factor, okay? The product here, 5y, both of those are considered factors. So we have to raise both of these to that power, in this case, 3. So not only is the y being raised to the third power, most students recognize that, but what students forget to do is to raise the coefficient here, 5, to the third power as well, okay? So 5y, that product to the third power, means each of those bases, each of those factors, has to be raised to the power of 3. 5 to the third power can be evaluated as 125, and y cubed we leave as y cubed, okay? Over here, we've got 2x squared raised to the fifth power. I'm going to have to raise both of these factors to the fifth power. So 2 to the fifth, and then I've got x squared to the fifth, okay? In the previous video, we learned we have to multiply these exponents, this 2 and that 5. So we're using properties that we've learned before, okay? 2 to the fifth is evaluated as 32. Remember, we multiply these exponents, so x squared raised to the fifth power is x to the 10th, okay? So pause the video here, give these three problems a try, and then come back and check your work, okay? So in number 4, our product is -4 times x. Now I purposely put negative numbers here with an even power and an odd power in problems 4 and 5, just to show you how to deal with negatives. Up here in these examples, I showed you how to deal with positives. So I wanted some answers that are problems that were a little bit different, okay? But again, notice the -4 and the x both have to be raised to the third power. And when you've got a negative coefficient, go ahead and put it in parentheses, because that way we are less likely to make sign mistakes, okay? So -4 to the third power times x to the third power, okay? So -4 times itself 3 times is -64, and then x cubed just follows along. So that's my answer for number 4. Nothing else I can do, nothing else to clean up or simplify. That's my answer, okay? Same kind of problem here in number 5. There's just a little bit extra to do, okay? Again, each of these factors, the -5 and the c to the fourth, have to be raised to the fourth power. So first thing I want to do, again, I've got a negative value, so I want it in parentheses, okay? It's more important with an even exponent than with an odd, and I'll show you why in just a second. And then I'm going to have to multiply these exponents. Remember, a power raised to a power means I'm multiplying those exponents, okay? So cleaning this up, simplifying, I've got a -5 to the fourth power. So I've got a -5 times itself 4 times, which is positive 625. And then I'm going to multiply these exponents. 4 times 4 gives me 16. Nothing else to simplify following our rules from before. So that's my answer, okay? And finally, number 6 here. A lot going on here. All right, so let's simplify this piece first, okay? Then we're going to simplify this piece, and then we'll use some of the other properties for multiplying that we've learned previously. Okay, so let's simplify this thing first, okay? So I've got a to the -3 raised to the fourth power. So notice I'm going to multiply those exponents. Then I've got b to the -2 raised to the fourth power, okay? So I'm going to multiply those exponents, okay? So now let's deal with this second one here. I've got a to the 5th raised to the second power, so multiply that 5 times that 2. And I've got b to the 4th raised to the second power as well, okay? So I've used my rules, my law of exponents here to do this part, okay? Notice I've I've color-coded the A values and the B terms here just to show that I'm going to deal with them separately down the road. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply these exponents. That gives me a to the negative 12 times b to the negative 8 times a to the 10th times b to the 8th. Okay, and all I did there was multiply those exponents. Okay, now then, I go back to the rules we learned yesterday. I've got a product of two different powers. These bases are the same, so I can combine these exponents. Okay, so I've got a negative 12 plus 10. Okay, with the b's, I can do the same thing. I've got a negative 8 plus 8 in the exponent spot. Okay, so let's clean those up a little bit. When I combine the exponents for the a, I get a to the negative 2. When I combine the exponents for the b, I get b to the 0. Okay. Again, now we're going back even more. We've got our negative exponent. We've got a 0 as an exponent. Those rules never go away, so we've got to apply those. So b to the 0 I know to be 1. A to the negative 2, I need that exponent to be positive, so I have to move it through the fraction to the denominator. Okay. I followed all my rules for simplifying that you saw earlier in the video. So this is my final answer for number 6. Okay. So that's how you use the power of a product property to simplify exponential expressions.